On December 29th, 1890, Chief Big Foot and 300 of his people were massacred by the United States Army near Wounded Knee Creek in South Dakota. Most of those killed were followers of the ghost dance religion. They believed magic of ceremonies and dances could bring back the old life. When the bullets overtook Bigfoot's band at Wounded Knee, their dancing ended, but the story of their journey and the dream they carried lives on with those who remember. Let us honor those who live and die for dreams.
In school, I learned of heroic discoveries made by liars and crooks. The courage of millions of sweet and true people was not commemorated. Let us then declare a holiday for ourselves and make a parade that begins with Columbus's victims and continues even to our grandchildren who will be named in their honor. Because isn't it true that even the summer grass here in this land whispers those names? And every creek has accepted the responsibility of singing those names. And nothing can stop the wind from howling those names around the corners of the school. Why else would the birds sing so much sweeter here than in other lands? Here, night-long, they invent new names, christening themselves in the cold creek. The dawn sky expels their lunar voices. Crazy Horse is dead. Parched buffalo bones, moonlight weathering into dry corn. Gathered with a helpless vengeance, a circle of lives danced until sunlight, drunk on the music of dreams. Their ears deaf to anxious hooves and silent bugles, their eyes blinded by the glinting sabers. The reservation shook with the pounding of moccasins, as though a great herd of bison had stampeded out of the earth into the plains, snorting its freedom. But all good medicine and magic could not soothe the heartache, melt the sabers, bullets, bugles, obliterate the final senseless suffering. All the borrowed prayers and dreams could not preserve the vast, dusted spaces. This harmless faith, nearly Christian and linked with reluctance, kept the hunger down and the tears inside, yet weighed them down against flight, conquered their legs, gave birth to disbelief as if history had proved some fact of humanity where none existed.
Upon the hill where the war cannons had churned their metal bowels to blast away the teepee village, a beast more ghost than coyote howled. In ghastly angles of desperation, close to 300 fallen Sioux were frozen. A few dire women and children had run west along the blood-drenched draw for over 2 miles before the soldiers' gunfire found them. Now black beads of awe-struck eyes stared back in unblinking blankness. The shroud of snow woven by the white giant's wife would cover the red world forever, or so it seemed. Between torn lodges and over December fields, troopers hunt survivors. Night freezes in, sealed down by winter dark, ice upon pain. With daybreak, a scattering buckshot blizzard northers over dry plains on the Minneconjou Trail, across the little creeks, blinding flattened teepees, the Wounded Knee slaughtered, and Spotted Elk, half risen, head fallen to his right, last chief of the free Sioux.
I stared at the icebox landscape of Pine Ridge, and through the faint mirrored ghost of my own reflection upon the winter pane. Some wino's coat frozen in the yard, half under snow. A rigid arm extended, reaching for air in this ghost scene the dogs dragged home. This replication of what we all have seen in the famous picture of 1890 by the hysterical Nebraska Historical Society. The Minneconjou Chief Big Foot, frozen solid, one gnarled and bony arm extended into the chilled air of his cousin's land, a simple Y in his death grimace. Dunkashila. These white men hate all that is good, and we don't know why. As Chief Big Foot's body was flung with the rest of his bloody flock into the common grave, the relatives, keen and sung grief, remembered his strong heart words which failed to save their world. I will stand in peace till my last day comes. Now he has fallen into the war pit of history, along with the 23 Medals of Honor awarded for Wounded Knee.
Garlington, Ernest A., Distinguished Gallantry. Hamilton, Matthew H., Bravery in Action. Hawthorne, Harry L., Distinguished Conduct in Battle with Hostile Indians.
It was my own baby whose cradleboard I held. Would have put her in my mouth like a snake if I could. Would have turned her into a bush or a rock if there'd been magic enough to work such changes. Not enough magic to stop the bullets. Not enough magic to stop the scientists. Not enough magic to stop the money. Now our ghosts dance a new dance, pushing from their hearts a new song.
It's been 100 miles as the eagle flies. An aging sign says, Site of Wounded Knee, 3 miles. Dust devils kick tumbleweeds against a barbed wire fence in a ditch. A bullet-riddled sign says, Site of Wounded Knee, 2 miles. In 73, a nation stood and declared, we are tired of broken treaties, now it will end. It was sealed with blood, and a shattered sign proclaims, Site of Wounded Knee, 1 aisle. From the belfry of a gutted church, one can see trenches that were, and hear the echoes of many guns a long time ago. Wounded Knee.
We will return to life. We will stay in the sun long before the shadows are born. There will be no distance between our words and the banished moon. In all that grows while the winter reaps, we will live again.